Hey y'all, I just wanted to jump in here and give you a little update of what all happened while we were trying to participate in Sick Week. So it was nothing major, but I just wonder sometimes if I didn't really iterate on it too much or give you enough information on how it all went down. So there were really no racing clips in this video. I'll show you the burnout. Actually, I'll drop that in there after I get to talking about that. But I just wanted to clarify what happened and what the deal was and why I did not continue on with it. So issue is, car ran great when I left Minnesota. It kind of had its little bugs, but I didn't have it tuned to run in negative 20-degree weather. So it was just a little crabby, but it ran fine. Started up good, idled great. It's just when you get on the throttle, I was a little pissed, but it sorted itself out. So we get to Florida, drive through the nasty blizzard, absolutely miserable. I'll never do that again, especially on an open trailer. But we get to Florida and I go fire the thing up and it is just so pissed. Don't want to run at all, which it's never done that. It's always fired up and ran good. So right away I was like, stuck injector, gotta be. I thought that, I believed that. I tapped them, kind of dinked around with them, fired the car up, ran good. All of a sudden we finally just had it and I backed it off the trailer, took it for a ride, all was good in the hood. And then we went out in the street and drove it around for a while. Thing got super hot. Found out I had a bad fuse. Replaced it. Got super hot again. Or ran cool as hell. Then popped the fuse again. So I was like, okay, I got to redo the fan. So I redid the fan wiring. Then the fans just ripped harder than ever. Radiator works great. Car was running good. Went out and made a little pull in the street. We whipped. I had a tune in it from last year with that junk Hughes converter. And it made like 37 pounds of boost or something, but it ran absolutely perfect. No issues with it whatsoever. Pulled so hard. It was awesome. So then I was thinking, everything's all good. Kind of had to mess with the idle a little bit to get everything to work right. I just wondered if it was the Florida air or something different, but yeah, I just had to mess around with some of that. And then did another pull on the way home from Streetcar Takeover in it and made 25 pounds, I think the data log said. Ran great. The fuel trims were really close. I was like, all right, this thing is running really good. And everything seemed to be all good. So then we go to the track. Everything's fine, all good. We go up to do the burnout, and I'll drop that clip right here.
Broke. It just blew up. Serious.
It just fucking blew up?
Yep.
Oh, let's push it off.
Yep.
And as you've seen, the thing blew up. I don't know why, but my feeling is it had a stuck injector the whole time, because the only thing that would still tip it off to me is when Justin and I did the big pull, you could smell E85 after the pull, like straight up fuel. And it didn't occur to me at the time. I thought maybe it was just a little fuel coming out of the rollover vent because I had the tank absolutely full to the top. But that to me right there would say that you're in a high demand of fuel, injector sticks open, and it's flooding the cylinder out basically. So that had to be what it was. I just think the cold got to the injectors because the car ran great at home, and when I got to Florida, it was a shit pile of work to get it to run good again, and that's got to be what it was. None of the really idle area numbers changed. It was just the startup stuff that was so screwed up, and it just did not want to run right when it fired up. After you had it running, it was fine, but up until then, it was not. So in the situation of the burnout, this is what the motor looked like. You can see there is nothing in that cylinder, and it's absolutely everywhere. Everything else looks okay. And the other side looks okay too. You can't really see it because I got it butted up right up against the ramp here. But yeah, that was that whole scenario. That one piston's just got a little bit of ding on it on the other side. It was number 4 and 5 that took the hits. So I'll get that thing home, put it on a stand, and take all the good parts out of it. And I'll film that and show the true damage when we get into the inside of it. But as far as the motor in the car, I will definitely be taking it out. It would have been a great motor to finish off the event with. It would have done what we needed to do, and maybe it would still be a great motor to race with, you know, throughout the course of the summer. But forgot to add this part too. So the deal was we had to be, I believe the racing was done at the track at 4 o'clock, and it was 2:15. And I looked at the clock, and we had an hour drive, at least an hour drive. It took an hour and 8 minutes to get back to where we are now, which is at Maya's Airbnb. And it would have been at least that, if not longer, to get back to the track. So with having an hour and 15-minute drive, not to mention all we had on that motor was headers, and we needed to put the intake on, and the intake was full of piston material. There was just not a single chance in the world that we were going to get that thing together and running to bring it to the racetrack. So that ended up being why we totally canceled it, because we just ran out of time. Basically, it was not going to happen. We had worked for 13 and a half hours straight, and straight up ran out of time. And if you've seen any of the posts on Facebook, why I wanted a long block specifically was to avoid having to build the motor. We literally had to build that motor. The bottom end was together, but we had to put heads, oil pan, had to go get the right nuts because I was running ARP studs in the other one, so I had to go get nuts for this one. I needed to go buy a torque wrench, and it was a lot of dinking around just to get this thing together. I wanted a long block with a balancer on it. I spent 3 hours on the balancer because we didn't have the right tools before the hardware store was open, so that was the reason for that, but just wanted to add that in there. I'm going to really get after it in the 8th Mile racing scene around home this year, so I'm either going to look for a built motor, or I'm going to slap together a nice aluminum block again like I had before. All clean. I mean, this was the true junkyard motor. I mean, you watch people on YouTube build a junkyard motor. This was it. I mean, we torqued nothing but head bolts. So this would have been awesome. It had all the stock bearings, rings, everything was original except for the head bolts and the cam. Otherwise, it was bone stock. So it would have done great for the event, but it's not going to do what I want it to do for the 8th Mile racing that I want to put it through. So I'm looking for a built motor. Good buddy of mine, Jay Anderson Heads, he's going to hook me up with some head work and get everything all dialed in there. So I'm hoping I can put together a pretty badass combination for the spring. Really sucks I had to say goodbye to that motor because it was a good motor. That thing had been through the ringer. I mean, lots of abuse, lots of accidental 40 PSI pulls. The head gaskets actually looked perfect, so it is what it is, though. It's a stock bottom end, you know, one minor failure could do it. But we will find out for sure if it actually was an injector, because immediately I'm sending them out to Streetcar Injection, and he is going to go through them and diagnose what the problem was. And I'm really hoping that he says number 4 was stuck up tight. And so next year, if we come to Sick Week, I actually think we are going to rent this exact Airbnb right here for the first 4 days. So I have this garage right here to work on it, and I'm not going to run injectors in the car until we get here, because I truly believe the cold weather is what messed it up. It was perfect when I put it on the trailer, and it was fucked up when I took it off the trailer. So that's the plan. We're actually heading out today. I just figured it'd be better just to get home, give me some time, unload this thing, take it apart, start moving parts around, and then next week I can start getting things where they need to go and getting this car in the right direction to be back up and running. So unfortunately, I will not be filming anymore about Sick Week. Whether Brandon is or not, I have no idea. But that's about all I got. I appreciate all you guys watching, all you new subscribers out there. Big shout out to you. I appreciate y'all showing up. This has gained a lot of subs on my page, and that really means a lot. You know, I'm just a just a small town kid from Minnesota, and we're having a lot of fun out here racing. I mean, Justin and I busted ass with this thing all week long, and it was awesome. And I can't give a big enough shout out to him. He busted his ass on this car, and it's great. And my dad busted his ass on this car, and he busted his ass making this trip happen. I mean, everything came together pretty good. Big shout out to Maya and her family for coming out and letting us stay here, because we were out of hotels, and Justin and I didn't get back here till like 6 p.m. last night after we were working on the car all day. So they really came through, gave us a place to lay our heads down and go to bed for the night, because it was an absolutely brutal day. But that's all I got, guys. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Cheers. We will see you in a week when I am back from Florida, and we will start getting this thing ready to go 8th Mile Racing this summer. Gonna be lit. Don't miss it.